Alright, everybody. How is it going? Today we're going to be taking another look at some Nomad survival patch notes. The fourth major update just came out, and there is a ton of stuff to go over, so I am super excited to go over everything that is coming out. There's a lot of new things that I've been excited for, and also some things that I did not even think would show up ever, so extremely stoked. So we're just going to start going over everything. As always, Fox, thank you. You're doing fantastic, and thank you to all the beta testers that are testing all this stuff for us. So it comes out with as few bugs as possible. Greatly appreciated. So looks like this is going to be the fourth update. It says he doesn't have a lot to talk about. There's limited keyboard and gamepad support in the menus. I use mouse and keyboard, haven't really used the controller yet, so I can see how it would be fun, but mouse keyboard works perfectly fine. And it looks like he's looking into cloud saving. Sorry, they're looking into cloud saving. They're not 100% sure, but it's something that they're actually going to start, see, actually, all caps, going to be looking into, so that's going to be fantastic. So let's look. So they added new currency, gemstones. They're currently only used for pets, but they will likely see further use in the future. So they added pets. Woo! I don't know how that's going to look. We'll just pop up here. So there are 5 different pets. We got the fox, the cat, the owl, the raccoon, and the hedgehog. And it looks like each pet has its own, looks like, skill tree. And each one does different things. So I'll probably do a more in-depth video on the pets because this is great. I did not expect this. I love the sprites. The sprites are fantastic. They are so cute. And it looks like each thing probably has its own, you know, special little niche. There we go. That's gonna be good for all of them. So this is cool. This is fantastic, and it looks like there's souls, and I'm assuming these souls we get from just total kills on monsters. That's my assumption based off how big this number is. And it looks like every other tier you switch between souls and gemstones, which are the new currency you'll be able to get from the maps. But yeah, this is great. Oh, so they each have passives also, so that is awesome. So this is going to be a really fun update. That's really cool. Let's see, back to the patch notes. They added in map modifiers and challenges, and there's also 3 new achievements. So let's go take a look. Map modifiers are something I'm really excited for, because not that I think the game is too easy, but there are times where I would like the difficulty to be increased, basically, so you could do just crazy stupid shit. And so I'm extremely excited. So it looks like we got enemy HP, and you could you can bring it up to 500%. That is awesome. Oh, I'm gonna be doing some stupid videos. Dude, Fox, you just gave me a ton more content. I was like literally thinking about what am I gonna make videos on, because I was coming up to just having the Whisperer class guide to make, but I'm excited. So it looks like it goes up to 500% for HP, 300% for enemy damage, 300% for enemy speed. You can, wow, you can do a 1% HP run, and you could do a 10% damage run, and I'm assuming, okay, so there are some things that I could see that could be cheesed here, and that is purely like I could go 0 for like don't touch these things, but you can get a 21 times multiplier just from putting your player speed down to 100. But if you're doing the statue build, this is something that I would be worried about maybe being abused. If this is how you want it to be, by all means, take advantage of the gemstone multiplier if you're doing a statue build or a no move challenge. Let's see, enemy projectiles occasionally fire towards you. The damage the projectiles you is equal to the amount of damage from the enemy multiplied by 3. So you could just turn on projectiles. But again, this is something that this combination can just completely be abused by statue. So that is something I would definitely be concerned about if you are worried about these gemstones being like very important. Enhanced bosses. Boss enemies have enhanced attacks which do additional effects and hit much harder. That is awesome. Extremely excited about that. And enhanced events. Map events are enhanced, resulting in more severe penalties and activity during a map event. I wonder if this will just make the screen completely black on the first map. I'm definitely interested in looking into that. And it looks like each one of these will give you a 9 times multiplier. And then we also have challenges, which turns everything off. Interesting. So the shadow event is always enabled. Ghosts from the event do not damage you and instead fully recover your HP. Every time you cast an ability, you suffer 50 damage, which cannot be mitigated or avoided by... Wow, that is interesting. So it looks like for this one, I don't know which one the shadow event is. I think it might be the one on the 3rd map. And so it's those specters that are everywhere. And it looks like whenever you use an ability, so I'm assuming that means your weapon ability from your class, so like the cultist ability, the adventure ability, etc., etc., you just take damage. This is going to be really funny. And you have to run into the ghosts because they actually heal you to full, which is crazy. Alright, challenge 2. The play area is greatly reduced. A good crystal exists in the center of your play area. You cannot damage the good crystal. All enemies target the good crystal. If the good crystal is destroyed, the run ends. Boss enemies do not spawn. All projectiles that hit you are absorbed as HP. Item pickup range is minimized. So this is cool. So it's called tower defense. That's exactly, I didn't see the name, but that's exactly what I was thinking it was going to be. And this is nice because if you just want to like go ham and clear out mobs, this would be really fun. So you could totally test the limits of what weapon skills can actually do here. So all around, I am extremely excited about all of these. This looks fantastic. Looks like it's going to be a ton of fun. So looking forward to trying those out. Let's see. The statue heritage cannot... Oh, see? There we go. There we go. I figured it out. He's 2 steps, or they're 2 steps ahead of me. They cannot participate in map modifiers or challenges, and its description has been updated to reflect that, because it would just completely mitigate it. I mean, you could still, in my opinion, take advantage of the player speed and just do a no move challenge, basically. So you can get this 21 times multiplier by doing just a no move, which on the first and the second map are very simple. I have not tried one on the 3rd map, but this would be very easy to do on the first and the second map. So if you want to farm gemstones, definitely just put the player speed down to 0 and stand still. But I'm glad they added this in. That's awesome. The size of void pools in with the Voidwalker heritage have been increased. Okay, that's awesome. The Voidwalker heritage, it's not that it was really bad in my opinion. I mean, it definitely did enough damage, so it was never really an issue. But I would say this will make it to where it's probably a little bit stronger, so that's awesome. The knight no longer has a movement speed penalty. Oh wait, the now scales in a similar fashion. Oh, awesome. So that's cool. That was one of the things. The Voidwalker, it wasn't very strong, but like it could give you the first like 5 minutes of a map to really get comfortable, basically. So I liked it in certain situations because it worked very well together with some of the melee type classes like adventure. But now it can scale, so that's awesome. A community update. Knight no longer has movement speed penalty when that weapon skill is active. This one, you know, I made a couple videos with the Knight. I don't really think it's in that bad of a place. But this basically just deals with the specters on the 3rd map, in my opinion. I know some people were probably struggling with those killing you when you're playing the Knight, and you just didn't have a lot of wiggle room, so that's fair. And the Knight's weapon skill now lasts for 5 seconds instead of 2. This is going to make the defensive sided build very strong, with it lasting 5 seconds instead of 2 seconds. And I wonder how this is going to impact your SP regen if you're going full SP regen on the Knight. When the Knight's weapon skill ends, the damaging effect now inflicts a forced knockback upon enemies. Okay, so with these two combined, you're kind of OP. Super duper OP. The knockback's going to be very strong, and it'll give you enough time to actually get that SP regen back up. And so this is going to actually make SP regen viable for both the offensive and the defensive build for the Knight. Let's see. The Whisperer Spirit, only the one you're controlling, now picks up EXP, coins, items such as hearts, magnets, etc. And they are attracted to the spirit but not picked up. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, so the items are attracted to the spirit, so you can kind of like pull things towards you. The Whisper, I actually really enjoyed with the statue heritage for the reason that it brought all of the XP to you. I was playing on the Crossroads map and I was able to get over level 100 in like 17 minutes just purely from the amount of mobs. You wipe the screen, honestly. It's very, very strong. So this is cool. It makes it easier to level up. When opening a chest collecting a relic, the coins gained are now properly included in the new coins. Okay, so it looks like there's a bug fix there. Enemy kills have been replaced with souls. Okay, perfect. That's exactly what I was thinking. Your kills automatically have been translated to this new currency. Cool. When slaying the final boss of a level, you are now given bonus coins as well as some gemstones. Map modifiers are the best way to get gemstones, but this will help in accruing them. Awesome. I wonder how limited the gemstones are going to be because, like, based off... Let's see. We'll go to the pets here. You know, this is 150 and this is 250, so that's only 400 to get both of these level, and I'm assuming it's the same for each one. Yes, it is. So there's 5 pets, so that's going to be 2,000 gemstones that you use total for all of the pets, and I don't think there's any, like, yeah, you just use coins for these guys. And so I don't think there's any other usage for the gemstones outside of that. So if 2,000 is the max that you need, and I know earlier it said that going to be implementing gemstones into the rest of the game eventually for other purchasables. That 21 times multiplier with the minus 100% player speed is kind of nuts. So I'm assuming you're probably only going to get a handful of gemstones. So that's cool. I like the grind. It's fun. Let's see, the Sacrificial Circle, third map, no longer accept boss kills when in WXP mode. This was not intentional to begin with, and so it's a bug fix. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I saw the post on the forums yesterday that, oh, you could just go into WXP mode, and that kind of defeats the point. It makes the challenge not very difficult. I almost wish that it just did a clean wipe of everyone's Steam achievement and made us all do it again. But I understand, like, not wanting to do that because some people got it legitimately. If you guys need help on that, I have a video. It's pretty much mainly focusing on the third boss because the third boss is really the only one that's actually very difficult to kill in the altar. So go ahead and check that out. Rewrote magnetization effects to prioritize the strongest magnet effect. Previously, the level 5 material cloak effect of having items slowly move to you took precedence over the magnet item or statue heritage effects, which had items move to you much faster. That's really funny. Seems like they yeeted. I never like dealt with this interaction because, in my opinion, going statue and then also immaterial cloak is kind of redundant. So I probably would never waste the levels on that, but that's an interesting interaction. Steam achievements now synchronized with in-game achievements. This is awesome. I logged in and I got a ton of achievements. So I greatly appreciate this because I did like a reset of my computer and for whatever reason it didn't save my Steam achievements basically. And so I had a ton of achievements, but they weren't on Steam. And so I was kind of sad because obviously we all care about those Steam achievements. But that's awesome. Entangle now destroys enemy projectiles. That's pretty cool. The level 5 effective immaterial cloak now scales with your item pickup range. That's also very helpful. The level 5 effective immaterial cloak makes it to where items slowly come towards you, and now it scales with item pickup range, so that's really strong. The base damage for Fireball has been increased from +2 to +3. This, I don't agree with. Like, I haven't, like, I understand that they're probably doing this so that you can play the modifiers and have a better time. That's my logic. But I think Fireball was already in a very good place, especially when you hit level 10. Base damage for Energy Wave has been increased. This one I kind of agree with. Energy Wave was very weak. I would never go this build in general, unless I was just kind of messing around with weapon skill size, because you could make it almost the size of your screen. That was very fun. And the base damage for Purifying Circle has been increased from +1 to +2. Also agree with this one. Purifying Circle is very, very weak. The rotation speed bonuses for Infernal Ray have been increased from 25% to 40%. This wasn't something that I thought was like in a bad place, but I can understand why they did it. Generally, I feel like if you went Infernal Ray, you would go another ability to help you out. You wouldn't obviously focus solely on Infernal Ray. You also have your weapon skill from your character. So while I don't think this is exactly needed, it's probably just a nice quality of life upgrade. So that's great. And then Infernal Ray now hits enemies 30% faster. This I think is warranted. I think it wasn't like you expect a laser beam to be dealing damage as fast as Colorless Glyph, for example. So that's a very good update in my opinion. And Infernal Ray now gives +2 base damage per level that grants it instead of +3. The 30%. Yeah, that's fair. I totally agree with this. More levels in Magic Missile now provide +1 base damage instead of +1 Magic Missile amount. This kind of makes sense because once you get it to the max level, it's not, there's no more amount. It's just a straight flamethrower, and then when you get the second relic, it's actually a laser beam, so that makes a lot of sense. That's a good upgrade. Passive skills now have a big bonus at level 10. That's fantastic. Enchantment level 10. Oh, you get a 50%. So that's a gosh, that's huge. Buckler went from 1 defense and 1 retaliation to 5 defense and 3 retaliation. The wings, you get a 50% movement speed increase. Expansion is a 30% size increase. Stamina potion is 1.5 SP a second. Wow, vitality is 60% max HP. That's crazy. Looks like he just took everything and multiplied it by like 3 to 4 or 3 to 5. Sorry. So everything got like a 3 to 5 times increase basically. So this is all really strong. And I feel like wow, 100% pickup range. That is huge. This just makes Psychokinesis, in my opinion, even better. I have to say there is no update to study here, so it looks like having us level up faster isn't something that is very important. Granted, with the increased damage of everything, as well as these huge buffs for the passive skills, that's going to make it to where we clear the map a little bit faster, so you're going to level up faster anyways. This is huge. Again, I think this is an update specifically for the map modifiers and the challenges, so I like it. I think it's going to make the base game easier, but with how much you can customize now on every map, on every run, this is going to make it very balanced. So if you want to have a good time, like, you just want to go through the 30 minutes and maybe get some achievements and stuff, just do the base map and play with these new updates. If you want a bigger challenge, then feel free to mess around with the the modifiers as much as you want. You can still have just as much fun. So that's awesome. Significantly reduce the damage potential of retaliation. Is easy to readily do over 1 million damage with this, and it was way overtuned. I totally disagree. I really enjoyed hitting 3 million. That, dude, retaliation plus night, once you got max armor, as well as putting points into retaliation in the shop, holy, that did so much damage. I can't tell you how many times I one-shot bosses, on accident, obviously. The thing is, though, I feel like the damage wasn't that bad. Maybe you could even cut it in half. It's going to be still as good. Maybe cut it by 90%. Still going to be relevant. I just hope that they realize retaliation doesn't go off if you're constantly getting damaged. So you have to actively make time for yourself to not get hit. So that kind of offsets the damage it does, because sometimes you're in a situation where you're just constantly taking damage, and because of that, you never actually really get to use retaliation. So hopefully it's not buffed or nerfed too bad, but I can totally understand why they did this. The damage potential of Knight's weapon skill has been reduced by 75%. It was astonishing how insanely overpowered the ability actually was, and is still strong even now. I agree and I don't at the same time. You could clear the normal mobs. The only place I would see this as an issue would be the bosses, because I don't really think it chunked the boss. In comparison to all of the other weapon skills, it didn't really do that much damage to bosses. So I get lowering it because it cleared the normal mobs a little bit too fast, especially with the changes that they're making. This is probably to offset those changes because the knight's a lot stronger now. But I guess I get it. Let's see. Community, when clicking the reset upgrades button in the menu, you must now confirm that you want to do it. That's just helpful in case anyone accidentally was just clicking on the bottom of the map or map the screen. Whenever a confirmation window is created, the background is now darkened to give more emphasis. That's awesome, just to make sure. This is just making sure if you're messing up, you will know you're messing up and you're willingly doing it. Adjusted chest spawning offset from slain boss enemies. If boss is on top of you when it dies, that chest spawns should now be on top of you. This is very important. This is something that when you're doing the no move challenge, you get really frustrated because the bosses would die on top of you, because obviously you're not moving, so the bosses are going to stand on you, and they would die, and then the chest would be above you and you couldn't get that relic, so you're missing out on at least 3 chests. You could fix it now with the statue, but if you don't have the statue heritage, because you have to do the no move to get the statue heritage, so now you can actually get relics, so that's super nice. It's going to make things a little bit easier. Instant kill now works appropriately. Instead of inflicting 999 damage to the enemy, which in some cases wouldn't result in a kill. I have never dealt this much damage to something and not killed it. So I'm interested to see what has that much HP. Maybe something on the new map, because instant kill doesn't impact bosses, so obviously it wouldn't work. That's interesting. Lots of bug fixes. You take damage even though you're already dead. This I've seen multiple times. It's very funny. Summoner heritage would not destroy ghost entities or mind flayer summons. I did not know that it could do that. Wow, if a summon is hit with an that skill is destroyed. So I guess technically those count as skills. Wow, that makes a summoner so much better. I always talk so much crap on the summoner heritage. That's nice. Fix an issue where Great Divider is properly giving place on base damage instead of +2. Oh, that's nice. So Great Divider is going to be even better. Fix an issue where the timer on the victory game would change. Yep, just crystallized chest would despawn. This is an issue that I thought they'd fix last week. Basically, the chests count as a mob, and apparently the game has a limit on how many mobs can be spawned at the same time. And if a mob spawns while there's too many mobs, it'll kill one of the other mobs that's on the screen. And the chests could technically count as a mob, and so you would sometimes see the chest die for no reason. So that's a good fix. Any projectiles would ignore evasion. This is one of those ones where it's like, I can't know if I ran into this or not because I'm not paying attention. Generally, I assume if I get hit by something, I'm going to take damage. I very rarely go into evasion, so not that big of a deal. Ascension would not probably give increased SP regen on levels that provide such a bonus. This is only... I know the level 2 one has SP regen. I don't know if any other levels in that weapon skill have SP regen, but that's helpful. Max HP bonuses from Vitality would carry over between runs. That is hilarious. If only we could see our HP, we would be able to like know if it's actually carrying over. I guess with the new stat screen you can. That's funny as heck. HP bar would temporarily extend. Oh, that's funny. So it just looks like a bunch of like bug fixes for things that they were running into with weapon skills mostly. Nothing that is gonna like be game changing or anything like that. You might like feel like so Ascension was incorrectly giving +3 instead of 0.3 SP regen. You might feel like you're not getting stuff as quickly as you were, but overall the game's just gonna play like it would now. So that's really awesome. And then let's see. Okay, awesome. Yeah, the bug fixes are mostly for weapon skills, so this is going to be nice. And so what's next? So let's see. Looks like the next major update is going to be focused on revamping weapon skills entirely. Right now, the weapon skills quickly become irrelevant. And I want to introduce a branching evolution system where instead of the weapon skill just getting a bonus effect, you will choose in what way it should change. It won't just be stats, the effect of the weapon skill will change in other different effects and bonuses. There's a lot to it, so it's not going to be a major update in itself. Perfect, okay, so it looks like they're not going to do any changes really to the weapon skills because they're going to be doing a complete overhaul. This is great because I do feel like some weapon skills, I mean, like every game, there's going to be a meta. And there's going to be weapon skills that are going to be significantly better than other ones. And this is something that you can't avoid. I mean, it's not something you're ever going to be able to get away from. So don't worry about that. But it looks like it's just going to expand the amount of ways that we can play the game. And I think that is the main focus for these types of games. You want to be able to play it in as many ways as possible so that you always have some way to play for a new player or for a player that's looking for a specific type of like build. I think it's really important because I know some people will come into this game and be like, I want to use things that are only projectiles. So you give them as many ways to make projectiles as possible, give them as many ways to play through the maps differently, do different builds, etc., etc. And so with this overhaul, it looks like we're going to have just more choices, and this is just going to make the game better in general because you're going to have a lot more to do. I appreciate it because that's just even more content. Yeah, woo. So that's awesome. Overall, this is probably my favorite patch note so far. They introduced a lot of fun things. it looks like they're finally getting to the polish of parts of the games. So that's really nice. The beta testers have obviously been doing a great job fixing a lot of these bugs and making sure the game comes out working as well as it possibly can, you know? And so I'm really excited about this. So this patch update, this was huge. I look forward to the next patch update. And if you guys have any questions, definitely let me know down below. As always, Fox and everyone that helps with Nomad survival, I'm not sure if it's anyone else outside of Fox that works on the developing, but the beta testers, everyone in Discord, everyone sending in suggestions and stuff like that, thank you so much for making this game, you know, as good as it possibly could be. It really helps. And you know, all the content creators, all that, everything helps. So keep on keeping on. It's going well, and the game is in a really good place right now, and I look forward to playing all of the new content. So as always, guys, thank you so much, and I will see you on the next one.